time after time, he has showed up when the college needed help and giving unselfishly of himself.
His heart is probably even bigger than his brain, which is saying a lot. He definitely is willing to be transparent and vulnerable, which again is another great sign of a leader.
Calm, thoughtful, steady leadership and integrity were instilled in Todd Schoon from his earliest years growing up in the Iowa town of Anamosa, population 4,500.
Coming from what I would call really a blue-collar, hard-working Iowa family.
A lot of us have stereotypes of, what is a Midwesterner, and he certainly is all of that.
Todd was a very quiet young man, not boisterous and not overconfident.
Probably more respectful of others' opinions.
And I think those values have stood him well to this day.
Education was another essential value for the family, and he and his two brothers were given a silver dollar for every A they got in school by their grandmother. Todd was valedictorian of his class, excelled in baseball, and especially basketball. He received his finance degree in business and then studied law from the University of Iowa.
I first met Todd in 1988. I was Al Granum's successor, and we had just started doing recruiting on campuses. And they bumped into Todd, who was graduating from law school. So they suggested Todd come to Chicago. I thought, oh my God, we actually have a law school graduate coming in. Todd explained that the one thing he knew he didn't want to be was a lawyer. He wanted to get into a career where he had control of his future. Todd loved being in Chicago, and I'm sure he may have shown up a couple of mornings hungover a little, but he followed Granum's concepts. He bought into the high activity system. His first full year in the business, he made $1 Million Round Table.
One of the things about Todd that we all need to appreciate is the fact that as opposed to lecturing down to the field force, the fact that he was a GA, the fact that he actually came through the industry, he knew about selling products and he knew what a product was.
He started studying for his CLU his very first year in the business. He passed the bar on his first try.
Todd's promising start in the profession soon drew him toward a vision of mentoring and managing others for success, and setting up his own business.
And so he opened a brand new scratch satellite office in Burr Ridge, Illinois, and the office started to thrive, as everything else he had done. And Todd began to really enjoy and see the advantage of helping someone else make it in the business.
Things were going well, and were about to get even better, when Todd attended an office party where he met a young woman named Jen, the love of his life.
They hit it off right away. And in the end, they got married on New Year's Eve. And so we had a new Northwestern Mutual family.
Well, part of the magic and success of Todd is Jen. This is an absolute bookend, and they're a wonderful couple.
Within a short period of time, Milwaukee became very interested in this young man.
Todd and Jen moved to Milwaukee, where they flourished both professionally and socially.
Jen would organize the social calendars of the assistant regional directors group. I think they knew every pub between here and Cedarburg, Wisconsin. And it was about 3 or 4 years after being here that we had our managing partner retiring in downtown New York, and we needed to find a successor. Todd and Jen jumped on the idea of, yes, they would go to New York.
Todd and Jen loved life in New York, and added to their happiness with the arrival of their greatest joys, Elizabeth in 2004 and Michael in 2005. And even with the family growing, the need for stepping up called upon Todd once again when Bill asked him to return and replace him at Northwestern Mutual.
There was no financial reason or upside to coming to the home office per se. It was more the challenge of, I think, having a bigger imprint on the business.
What a lot of people don't know about him is that having run the largest shop for the entire Northwestern in New York City, he's kind of a Renaissance person, and that allowed him to be a collaborator.
There was no better person to take Bill's seat on the board of the American College than Todd.
I was a brand new college president, and Todd and I immediately hit it off. He had energy, vitality, he had a curiosity and a dedication about education.
He was very thoughtful. very deliberate and open. But you could also see the moral compass that really guides him in his life.
Well, the college experienced several rough years, and Todd was one of those people that when the suggestions came out where we had to go to survive, he was an advocate. He got it immediately. He referred to the American college as his college. And so when it came to learning really how to replace and change our whole ethos as an organization, that's where Todd shined.
It was through Todd that the whole Granum Center was created.
Todd had the idea to create a learning forum that was an ongoing tribute to Al. He wanted to make sure that Al Granum was honored while he was aware of the love and the affection. And that's the kind of person that Todd is.
Through all of his success, Todd has never lost sight of the importance of encouraging talented individuals toward achieving their personal and professional goals.
I got the very cool opportunity to join a women's development program that Todd initiated, and I was impressed right away with how good of a listener he was, knowing that somebody believed in my potential, but also challenged me to think bigger. And Todd has probably been the most influential person in my professional life today.
In terms of meeting the challenges, he was there when the college asked him to take over the interim presidency of the college.
You've got a guy who was a board chair, so he understood the governance. But the unique thing is that as a lone executive, you had a guy that actually knew what was going on inside.
There are many of us on the board that felt that at this time, the college needed a person with business skills. Todd was that business person who had deep convictions to the college.
Not only was it, I'm going to make sure that this thing is held together until George arrives, but I'm also going to lay out the framework for George when he gets there, so he's got a starting chance to be successful in that role.
When the going gets tough, who do you want in the foxhole? I can't think of a better person I'd want in my foxhole than Todd Schoon.
I talked to Todd about, when I think about where we're going, it's going to be tough for us to have such a large governing process. There's roughly 80 people involved. And Todd had told me, George, are you sure you want to take this on? And I said, yes. Todd was able to share with them. I understand where he's going. I understand why he's doing it. It's the right decision. This was not about me. It was not about him. It was about what was best for the college. But they trusted him. And that made all the difference.
When he believes something is the right thing to do, he'll do it.
It would be hard for me to tell you who within the community of the American College that has contributed more of himself or herself than Todd Schoon.
It's about having a devotion, a dedication to education. It's about believing in the dream of Solomon Huebner. It's about someone who is an advocate for community goodwill, about philanthropy, but most importantly, a commitment to ethics. That's what Todd Schoon epitomizes. That's why he's getting this medal tonight.
I've always felt like a father to Todd. I am very, very proud of him and who he is, and I'm proud of his family. I'm proud of what he has done for the college. I'm just very proud of Todd Schoon.
Todd exemplifies everything that the Huebner Gold Medal is about. Ethics, lifelong learner, putting others before yourself, and really thinking about every day, how do I make society better?
Congratulations to Todd Schoon, the 2020 Huebner Gold Medal recipient.